I usually, at the beginning of the week, plan with my third grade team, and we get our lesson plans done for the week. We try to do that around Monday and Tuesday. And then I let Ms. Hall know when we're finished with our plans, and we just schedule a time either during our planning or after school to discuss what my third grade team, what we're teaching, and how we can adapt that to our small group time.
Right, and then we'll discuss the different, activities that have been planned and decide which ones we feel would best meet the needs of our groups. And sometimes I come in with ideas and Abby's like, oh yeah, let's use that, I like that better. That's usually, and we usually try to plan, like you said, after they get finished planning, and usually about mid-week we try to start planning for our groups.
Sometimes I use the same thing my teammates are using. We just adapt it, modify it a little bit, and sometimes we want to do something totally different. And that's just based on each week and what we're working on.
Because like some groups had, when we were working on addition and subtraction with regrouping, it's like some groups were just working on 2-digit, some 3-digit, and then our highest group was even working on 4-digit. So we have to make sure that we're differentiating it and leveling all of our center work for the different groups that we have.
We talk daily about how the kids are doing in whatever subject area we're working on. We do sometimes use exit slips. That's a really quick way to see how the kids are doing and if they're able to do it independently. I do give unit tests. Once the unit we think we have taught everything, we'll give an assessment. I do grade that, take grades on that. And then we look at the data. For example, we did fractions for about a month. I gave an assessment. We weren't real happy with our data. So Ms. Hall is continuing a fraction center this week while I'm going ahead and starting geometry, which is our new topic. So we do look at map data as well, where the kids, how they've grown. That gives us an idea for groups, and also just daily conversations and assessments and exit slips.
Well, at the beginning of the year, it was kind of difficult because we didn't know our students yet, so we had to, and we hadn't done MAP yet, so we just kind of had to do some assessments and figure out where they were, and then after they took the MAP test, then we had to rearrange the groups a little bit. We don't typically change groups real often. We look, teach the third grade Common Core standards, and we just differentiate different levels. Like one group may have less number of items to answer, or a different task, maybe a different strategy that we teach them. But we do change if we see, according to their assessments or MAP data, that we need to regroup.
Ms. Hall and I work well together. We're very open-minded. If she has ideas, we go with it. We'll even say, I don't think that will work. So I think the biggest thing is that we work well together, we're comfortable. It is my classroom, but it's her classroom. And she, I hope, feels comfortable in my classroom because it is her classroom as well. But I just think our biggest thing is that we work well together. Another huge thing I think for the co-teaching to be successful is a small group. I have 17 students. That's probably the lowest I've had in years, but it allows us to do so much small group time, even independent time. During my KSI time, I can do a lot of one-on-one with students. So I think the small class size is a huge part of this co-teaching model and making it work.
And from a special ed standpoint, I feel like the special ed students really thrive well in here too, because they're used to small group in a resource room, so they're getting a small group here. Plus, another advantage for them is they're actually getting more exposure to the third grade Common Core, whereas if they were only resource, they wouldn't get all that exposure, and I think that will help them when they better prepare them for when they take K-Prep at the end of the year.
Barriers that we had to overcome, I believe, probably were at the beginning, trying to figure out how to make this work. It was not easy at the beginning. We weren't sure exactly how to set everything up. We just worked together at the beginning to come up with our groups, and we the first few weeks was not very good instruction, just because we were trying to figure out the process. But once we got the flow of how our classroom should run, things just became easier. We still run into, certain students and what we can do for that student who's struggling, or should we or shouldn't we do this, or how should we do this, but we have learned a lot. Another barrier I think maybe was finding time to meet with each other. Still being included with my third grade team, and her still be included with the special ed team, and trying to find time to get it all fit in. But like I said, once we got things ironed out, it did become a lot easier.
Usually Ms. Copelin would introduce a new concept, and then a lot of times the next week she might start something new, and I would continue giving them more practice at my center on the same thing, especially in math. She would teach just like we are doing this week. She has started the geometry unit, but we feel like the students still need more practice with fractions, so I'm staying with fractions. However, reading is sometimes different. A lot of times we will be doing the same thing. Like last week, we both taught main idea, but we did it using different formats and different strategies, and we did not do the same activity. She would be doing a different activity on main idea at her group, and I would be doing something totally different, showing them a different strategy or exposing them to a different format, because we know they're going to be exposed to information and knowledge in different ways, different formats for K-Prep, so we want them to be prepared for that. All right. Why wouldn't it be A, Sebastian?
Because A isn't equal.
Right. It's divided into 3 parts, right?
Yeah,
Okay, so why couldn't it be A?
because the triangle is into 3 equal parts.
Oh, okay. So you're telling me that the parts have all got to be equal in order for it to be a fraction.
But does it say equal?
No, it doesn't say equal, but we know that that's the definition of a fraction. Remember we went over that at the beginning of our fraction unit. The definition of a fraction is it's a whole that's been divided into equal parts. Okay, yes, all 3 of these are divided into 3 parts, but the parts aren't equal. Like here you've got a big, a medium, and a small. Here you've got 2 small pieces and a big piece, and then this one's the same way. You've got 2 smaller pieces and a bigger piece. So the only correct answer would be B. All right, so I'm gonna lay these task cards out and you all can get started, and I'll be coming around if you need any help. If you're not certain about what it's asking you to do, we'll help you. Let's see down there. All right. Be careful and make sure they're numbered, so make sure whatever number's on your card, that's where you put your answer on your answer sheet.
What's this for?
Strip.
Do you put
What is it?
what do you could you put the thing on there, put B?
Yes. You only have to put, Bryson had a good question. He was, some of them it gives you, on this one, it has 1/4. You don't have to write 1/4, 2/3, or 2/3, 3/4, or 2/4. Just write the letter of the correct answer.
Wait, is this true right here? Would that be true?
Okay. Well, look, here is this, what fraction is this?
2
2,
3/4.
right, and this one is?
3/4.
All right, so you're gonna look, which one looks, you got a picture to go by. Okay, now what could you do if you still weren't sure by the picture? What method have we taught you?
Butterfly.
Right, you could do the butterfly method, where you multiply. So 2 times 4 would be?
2 times 4 is 8.
And then 3 times 3?
Is 9.
All right, so is 8 less than 9? Or is, right. So. Letters. You put the letters. All right, this one wants you to order the fractions from the greatest. What does greatest mean?
Larger.
Right, to the least, which would be the smallest. All right, and you put, is that supposed to be B or D? B, okay, so you said, let's look, you got these pictures to go by. All right, look at the pictures, use your pictures. Is 2/4 the greatest? When you look at the pictures, there's that, and then that. Isn't that, look how far that one goes. That one goes past that one. So that would be the largest. That would be the greatest. Yeah, that's just the printer. That's okay. Do you understand, Mariah? All right, that's correct. Here is 16.
What if we see?
See what it says.
Which is not a way to show 1/4.
Yes, you are correct. It would be C. And well, another reason, not only is it not equal, but is C divided into fourths?
No.
What's it divided into?
Thirds.
Right. It's actually not true thirds because it's, like you said, it's not equal.
Because look, this is divided into B right here on this answer.
Which fraction strip is the smallest?
Which would be B.
So you've got, this would be A is what?
And a half.
Yep. And B is
1/3.
C.
2/3.
And D would be,
1/4.
yeah, you're right. 1/4 would be the smallest out of those.
What way does it
Okay, it just wants to know, is 1/2 more than 3/4 or is 1/2 less than 3/4? 1/2 is more than 3/4. Look, here's, if you compare this, here is, look, do your butterfly method. Turn it over, write 1/2. If you can't tell by the picture, use your butterfly method. Yeah, cross multiple, yeah, there you go.
Is this B?
What is,
Because 1 plus 2 is 3. 1/2.
yeah, did you say, which letter did you say?
Because this is less of an inch.
Right, it is D. Let me see your butterfly method. 1/2 is, yes, you're right, it's B. So if you're not sure by the picture, use your butterfly method.
Isn't that 3/4?
3/4, yeah, this is like one we did up here. 3/4, and what's gonna make one whole? No, 3/4 and 3/4 would be more than a whole.
It would be 4/4.
Okay. Look, you're trying to make 4/4, but if you have 3/4, here's 3/4, right here. Now look, here's 3/4. What's left over here? Right, 1/4.
D? Is it D?
Yes. Good job, Mariah. All right, that was our timer. So finish the one that you're on and put your answer sheets back in your folder because we're going to be switching to our last rotation.
What time is this?
Okay, target is up there. There may be a word on there you're not sure of, so I'll give you a second to look at it.
Okay, yes. I'll see the very last one.
Look at our learning target. The books are in the way.
I don't.
Anybody want to be brave and read it for me?
Yes.
Sebastian? Go for it. Read that for me.
I can identify shapes by their entries.
It's very close. Good job. I can identify shapes
Identify shapes
by their
attributes.
attributes. Good. Have you heard of that word before?
I have. We've heard it here before.
Good. Now, hard part. What do you think it means? Anybody?
Shapes.
What does this word mean? Attributes.
Attributes. Size of shapes.
Okay.
I've only heard of the word attributes. I don't know what it means. I don't know.
I heard sides and angles.
It's kind of like your body parts.
Okay.
Or what you do. Like
Okay.
attributes.
Okay.
Like in a video game, kind of. Okay. It's so
Explain. What do you mean?
like you can give your character attributes like if they like their strength, how they look, and all that stuff.
Okay.
And how you dress,
Okay.
like how you fix your hair and how you put on clothes.
So if we were going to give attributes to describe Miss Copelin, what would you say?
She's nice.
She has a jacket on.
Thank you.
She has
The attributes.
good handwriting. Good handwriting. She's pretty.
Thank you. Anything else?
She has
Colors my hair.
I already said red and blue.
Blue shirt.
blue shirt.
I said red and blue.
Creekside shirt.
Red hair and blue eyes.
Okay.
The nicest personality.
Blue eyes, red hair. So you just described
Best teacher.
things about me that you can see, right?
Best teacher ever.
Well, thank you. But attributes describe things you can see. My blue shirt, red hair, blue eyes. Those are things that anybody that walks in can see about me, right? So shapes, we can describe shapes by their attributes. Things that make the shapes special, how they get their name, okay? I want to give you a card. It doesn't matter what color you get. And I'm going to give you just a couple of minutes to write down anything about geometry that you remember. It can be from compass. It can be from, I gave you all the same color, I was talking. Your teacher last year, something you've seen in a book, anything you remember.
This week I've been doing compass and I had all kinds, and it's telling me about like
What was it again?
shapes and things.
Anything you remember about geometry, because that's our topic. Anything at all, I'm not worried about spelling, and if you are not comfortable writing it, you can draw it. Ready? Go. Go. Anything at all you remember about geometry.
All I remember is
Draw or write. Write that down.
I like drawing.
I'm doing something.
Not worried about spelling. I know compass teaches you things on.
Beautiful. Always put my H like that.
Shapes. Let me see. This one feels like good.
Just spell it the best you can, that's right. We took a pretest on this yesterday, so think about what was on the pretest. It asked you some difficult things yesterday on your pretest. Maybe you remember some of the words or what some of the things on there looked like. Anything you remember?
There was a big word on there.
I like how you spelled it. Those words are like this long, aren't they?
I just feel like
This is the first time I actually draw a cube.
What, can you write that word that you just said?
Cube. C-U-B-E.
Yes, ma'am.
I just feel like
Oh, I was drawing a computer.
in the sea right
Not a cube.
about geometry.
Ooh, hang on.
If you ever on our compass videos, he's like Geo Man or something.
Yes,
You seen him?
him.
Yeah.
I just had him use on
Yeah.
my computer.
I finished that one
We'll
already.
watch some of those during our whole group time.
I don't get him.
And once we're on math whole group, we can there's this compass video. I'm gonna have to write down the number and I can show you it.
That would be great.
And it
Let's
has
do
fractions.
just a few more seconds.
I was learning
Finish
on
the word you're on.
Gracie And,
Write that down. It's good.
I'm gonna try to get
I was
one
meant
more.
to draw a computer.
I wanted you to write that word.
I forgot what else I was doing.
If you're done, I'll take it. If you're done, I'll take it.
Because on compass loading, it showed me a channel and it had like one of these and it showed like how they cost to get like how they go up and down.
I think I'm done.
Okay.
I was gonna write. I
finished?
wrote my name on it. So
Okay,
that way
thank you.
know.
I didn't like my.
We're actually going to leave these in our folder and add to them as we learn more and more things.
I like how dollars say on the back.
Finish what you're working on.
What is a rectangle that is three-dimensional? Like a cube?
I like how you just said three-dimensional. Can you write that down?
Three-dimensional.
Do you know what's short for that? If you go watch a movie in...
3D.
Okay,
So
let me have them. You got to move on.
a 3D. Tomorrow on math, I'll show
What is it
you.
called?
You don't have to.
What is a 3D rectangle?
I got
Just
quite a bit.
write that. 3D.
Look at how many I
I am going to
got
look.
to. It was a lot.
So I'm going to read some of them. I'm not going to tell you whose they were.
That is not a D.
I'm just going to read them to you, and then we're going to look at a book over here. So we heard her talking about 3D. Shapes, triangles, vertices. Does that ring a bell to all of you? Shapes, quadrilaterals, vertices, angles, sides, parallelogram, cube, triangle, trapezoid,
That one.
parallelogram,
Quadrilateral.
quadrilateral,
Yeah, one side of them.
vertex, cube, vertices, quadrilateral, compass. Learn stuff on compass. So this gives me an idea of what we already know so that I can teach you new things. Now, just because we have learned the word vertices, we may not know exactly what that is.
Sort of like
So in whole group and small group, we're going to talk about what all of these things are. I am just glad you already know some of the words. That's a lot of stuff that we already know. So now we're going to refine and learn what each of these words are. You may already know some of them, what they mean. We have talked about some of them in morning work, or if you have a question on compass, I give you just a small lesson on it, but we're going to learn a lot about the words and what they mean and how to use them and how to recognize them in other places besides just when you're with me, okay? The other group while I give these books out, glance around the room and see if you see shapes in our classroom. You don't have to shout them out, but you can kind of point.
the books are. The books are.
The whole classroom. The whole square. The whole classroom is square. Wow. I didn't notice that. I have a post-it note.
Yeah. Now, I want you to practice using your text features and turn to the table of contents and see if you can find the section on geometry. If you don't know how to spell it, it's on the board. Use the table of contents. Do you remember where the table of contents is?
Beginning.
Beginning.
I'm already there.
And we're looking for geometry.
Geometry.
When you find it, go ahead and turn to that page, but do not tell your friends. I know. We should have looked at that last couple of weeks, huh? When you find it, you're looking for geometry.
I can't say geometry.
Geometry. You might need to turn the page. If you found it, you can kind of glance to see any of the words maybe you already know. Some words you didn't know.
I cannot find it.
I see a lot of things I don't know.
I didn't
See a lot of words you don't know.
I've never seen that before. Yeah, like or that. Or that.
It's on, I'm going to give you a hint. It's on this page right here.
Like this.
It's probably on here.
You skipped right over it. I'll give you a hint. It's in a colored box.
I want
A colored box.
to. There.
Oh!
Look, now what page is it on? She was looking everywhere, like all the way around it. Look, what page is it on? What page is it on? Okay, go there. What does it say?
205.
Okay, find it. Aiden says, well, there's a lot of words in here that I haven't seen before.
Or we've never seen that before.
So go ahead and flip through there.
Yeah, flip through my
Look what I just
Yeah,
found.
look at all of these things.
That's
I was here.
That's a vertice.
What does it remind you of seeing points on the line? Fractions that we just talked about. Why do they have letters?
Miss Copelin, look what
because
I just
they're-
flipped to.
What the?
Gosh, that was fast.
I know, that was
Oh, Tanner, look what I flipped to.
Honey, it's time to switch. 2:05. Just stop, because guys, that was the timer again. You have about 1 minute to finish up. Hold on.
We've never seen that before.
Goodness.
That's a lot.
Remember we talked about degrees
Yeah.
briefly.
Fingerprints. Got it, fingerprints.
What? Of shapes?
What are all of those?
Rectangle.
Every one of them. Triangles.
I forgot what it was.
Because an attribute of a triangle is
That was so cool. I thought it was like
so. Time's up already. Goodness, that went so fast. Let's close your books for me because I want you to listen. Thank you.
Going. I looked all around here. I couldn't find
Okay.
it. I kept.
For the next couple of weeks, look at me. We're going to be talking about geometry. We're going to learn lots of new words. We're going to talk about the attributes. We're going to talk a lot about angles. I may even show you degrees of angles, the different types of angles, different names. We're going to learn a couple of new shapes that you may not know the name of already. So be prepared, be excited about learning it. Geometry is everywhere. We talked about how Miss Bronner probably talks about it in art class.
yeah, like it's a whole yeah.
There's so many patterns in our room.
It's like your Bible thing. It has whitey on it and things. It has all kinds of rectangles and things.
So we are going to add to this card. So if you want to put it in your folder, as we learn new things, we're going to add to this list of things that we know and are going to learn about geometry, okay? Guys, if you will clean up, guys at computers, if you will shut those down because we're finished for the day, and go ahead and stack your chair for me.
Miss Copelin,